Episodes 7 to 8 of the reality show, Are You Sure? Success created a huge wave of emotion among the ARMY around the world. Not because of the luxury of the location, nor because of the complicated concept of the event, but because of the honesty of the feelings emanating from two figures who have long been known to have a special bond, Jungkook and Jimin. Since this episode was released, social media has been filled with video cuts, screenshots, and detailed analysis of every look, smile, and small gesture they display. Many agreed, episodes 7 to 8 are not just entertainment, but a wordless emotional recognition of how deep Jungkook and Jimin's relationship is. Unrequited romance. Different from the often exaggerated images of romance, what Jungkook and Jimin show feels natural, calm, and sincere. There are no exaggerated dialogues or deliberately dramatic scenes. It was precisely in that simplicity their feelings felt so real. In one of the moments, Jungkook is seen watching Jimin with a soft look as he speaks. The gaze is not just the gaze of the camera, but a reflection of the sense of care that has been awakened over the years. Jimin, on the other hand, showed a comfort he rarely showed, smiling lightly, laughing lightly, and occasionally leaning toward Jungkook, as if the world around them no longer mattered. Body language that speaks truer than words. ARMY quickly realized one important thing. Jungkook and Jimin's body language spoke more truthfully than their dialogue. The way Jungkook reflexively protects Jimin, makes sure he's comfortable, or simply stays close enough to give him a sense of security, shows an emotional closeness that can't be faked. Jimin responded with full confidence. He seemed to have no qualms about showing his fragile side in front of Jungkook, something that is rarely done in front of the camera. Every light touch, every chuckle, and every moment of silence between them just felt the most talking. Episodes that reveal sincerity. Episodes 7 to 8 seemed to be the point where Jungkook and Jimin stopped keeping an emotional distance from the camera. They no longer appear as idols that must always be perfect, but as two humans who understand each other without the need for long explanations. In one viral scene, Jungkook spontaneously responds to Jimin's feelings in a very gentle way, not patronizing, not dominating, just listening and being fully present. The moment made many ARMY admit to tears, because emotional intimacy like this is rarely seen in the entertainment world. Bonds formed from time and wounds. The romance displayed by Jungkook and Jimin was not instant. Their bond is built from years of hard training, industry pressure, fatigue, failure, to great success. All of those experiences create strong, mutually sustaining relationships. This episode serves as a reminder that behind the stage spotlight and the glitter of popularity, Jungkook and Jimin are two souls who grew up together. They know when to joke, when to be quiet, and when to reinforce each other without being asked. ARMY melted. The media fell silent. It didn't take long for episodes 7 to 8 to become a hot topic of conversation. Many ARMY referred to this episode as one of the most emotional throughout Are You Sure? Even casual viewers admitted that what they saw felt different, warmer, more honest, and more touching. Comments such as, "This is not acting," "Their looks are really honest," to "I feel like I'm peeping into a private moment" flooded various platforms. The episode is not only entertaining, but also establishes an emotional connection between the artist and the audience. Romance without being defined. What makes this episode even stronger is the fact that Jungkook and Jimin never define their relationship explicitly. No labels, no big verbal recognition. But that's exactly where the power is. Their romanticism is present as a feeling felt, not explained. This kind of relationship feels more mature and mature. Not noisy, not looking for validation, just present as is. And for the ARMY, this became the most beautiful form of romanticism. An emotional gift for fans. For ARMY who have been following Jungkook and Jimin's journey since the beginning, episodes 7 to 8 felt like an emotional gift. A moment in which they are allowed to see the most human, most fragile, and most sincere side of the two idols they love. Many fans called this episode a reminder of why they fell in love with BTS, not just because of the music and performance, but because of the sincerity of the relationship between the members. One of the most powerful moments occurred when Jungkook indirectly revealed how important Jimin was in his life. Without bombastic sentences or dramatic statements, Jungkook chose simple, honest, and almost whispered words. But it's precisely that simplicity that makes it feel real. It speaks of a sense of comfort, of someone who makes it possible for him to be himself without the need to pretend to be strong. At that point, a lot of ARMY realized, this is not a script, this is not acting, this is a feeling that has accumulated over the years. Jimin, on the other hand, shows romanticism in his own way. He didn't speak much, but his body language spoke louder than words. The way he listened attentively to Jungkook, the small nod of understanding, and the gentle smile that seemed to say, "I'm here," were proof of such a deep emotional bond. Jimin is known for being sensitive and empathetic, and in episodes 7 to 8, that trait is fully manifested, not for the camera, but for Jungkook. As the two walk side by side in one of episode 8's most iconic scenes, the atmosphere is quiet yet warm. There is no long dialogue, only rhythmic footsteps and almost no distance. Many ARMY refer to this moment as effortless romance. Not contrived, not forced, but so strong that it makes the chest feel tight. The romance that Jungkook and Jimin display here is a romance that grows out of being together, from shared weariness, stored laughter, and mutually understood wounds. What makes episodes 7 to 8 even more touching is the honesty of the emotions displayed. Jungkook, who has always been known as a strong and passionate maknae, showed his fragile side. He acknowledged the fears, doubts, and pressures he had been under. And at that moment, Jimin was present not as an idol, not as a colleague, but as someone who really understood. Jimin's gaze when he heard the confession seemed to say, "You are not alone." This moment made many soldiers cry, not because they were sad, but because they felt they were witnessing something very human. Social media was immediately filled with emotional reactions. Episodes 7 to 8, are you sure? Dominate the trending topic, with thousands of ARMY sharing cutscenes, gaze screenshots, to feeling analysis. But behind all that, one thing that most often appears is the feeling of being overwhelmed. Many say that this episode reminded them of the meaning of true relationships, not about labels, but about presence and sincerity. Jungkook and Jimin's romance in episodes 7 to 8 also feels special because of the context of their long journey together. From trainees who encourage each other, idols who grow up under the spotlight of the world, to individuals who are now learning to understand themselves, all phases feel unified in these two episodes. Every smile and silence carries a trace of the past, making small moments feel so meaningful. It's no exaggeration to say that episodes 7 to 8 are the most emotional episodes of Are You Sure? Not because of the big drama or conflict, but rather because of the honesty shown. Jungkook and Jimin don't try to look perfect. They appear as they are tired, fragile, but still strengthening each other. And that is precisely where that true romance arises. In the end, episodes 7 to 8 aren't just about Jungkook and Jimin. This episode is a mirror for many of what togetherness means, about having someone who understands without having to be explained, and about love in its purest form, being present, listening, and enduring. Are you sure? It may be a show, but what Jungkook and Jimin show in these two episodes is a real feeling that will stay in ARMY's heart for a long time. And when the episode ends, one thing becomes clear: romance does not always have to be pronounced. Sometimes, he lives in a gaze, in a rhythmic step, and in a meaningful silence, as Jungkook and Jimin showed in episodes 7 to 8. Conclusion: an episode that is difficult to forget. Episodes 7 to 8, Are You Sure? It will be remembered as one of the sweetest and most emotional moments in Jungkook and Jimin's journey. The romance they display is not something made for the camera, but rather a reflection of a time-tested relationship. Without the need for words of love, without the need for a big confession, Jungkook and Jimin managed to make the ARMY around the world melt, fall silent, and be touched. This episode is not just a spectacle, it is a feeling. And perhaps this is the reason why this moment will continue to be talked about, because true sincerity always finds its way to the hearts of the audience.